Call the Superstition Vistas Community Facility District No.1 meeting to order on October 17th. Roll call, please.
Chairman Wilson,
Here.
Vice Chairman Schroeder,
Here.
Board Member Cross,
Here.
Board Member Heck,
Here.
Board Member Johnson,
Here.
Board Member Nesser,
Present.
Board Member Soller.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Consideration and approval of minutes of the special meeting on September 19th,
Mr. Chair.
2023. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I move that the minutes of the September 19th, 2023 special meeting be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Vice Chairman Schroeder,
Yes.
Board Member Nesser,
Yes.
Board Member Heck,
Yes.
Board Member Soller,
Yes.
Board Member Johnson,
Yes.
Board Member Cross,
Yes.
Chairman Wilson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, this is a public hearing regarding the Superstition Vistas Community Facility District No.1 Assessment Area No.2. Who's going to be talking?
Mr. Mayor, let's go ahead and invite Zach Sakis, bond counsel, up. And this is an item that we reviewed at the last meeting, and this is the public hearing portion. But maybe, Zach, you can just come up and remind them just briefly.
Good evening, Chairman, Board. Zach Sakis with Greenberg Troy, serve as special counsel to the district. So when we met last, we talked about a new project for 279 lots. The project is local streets within this community, and the developer asked the district to please finance those with assessments through CFD No.1. So, following that meeting, in the interim time, we worked with the district engineer. The assessments have been recorded against each of the lots. And now we're now ready for the next step, which is to say the project is ready for financing, and we're also going to authorize bonds, should the board so decide. So the first item right now, public hearing, the 279 lots, I believe if they haven't started sales, they will start sales shortly, but currently the lots are still all owned by D.R. Horton. They received notice of the public hearing. They asked us all to be here this evening, and most likely, looking around the room, they are not here to object to anything during the public hearing portion. So then if you'd like, I can address the other two resolutions, or I can come back up at those items at the board's preference.
Okay to go, yes, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the item number 3 following the public hearing is confirmation that the project is complete. Both Horton says it's done, and then the city has inspected the local streets project to confirm it meets the city standards and is acceptable, as well as the district engineer has reviewed all the cost bids and pricing and everything else that D.R. Horton, when they had to show their work, right? When you did your schoolwork as a kid, they had to show their work. The district engineer went through all of it and verified that. So that's item number 3, confirming the work is complete and eligible for CFD financing. Again, relying on the district engineer's conclusions that were provided to the board. And then item number 4 is the final step in this transaction for this board, final step for the board, which authorizes the sale and issuance of special assessment bonds, which again are repaid in installments by the property owners, repaying the assessments on each individual lot over time, and delegating authority to district staff to complete the transaction. And you've been provided forms of the operative agreements for the transaction, which as things proceed and we get final numbers and bonds are priced in the market, all the numbers get filled in and documents are finalized. And then probably about, 5 weeks or so from now, maybe a little bit less than that, probably between 3 and 5 weeks from now, we'll close the transaction and sign all the final closing documents. District will receive money and then be able to disperse bond proceeds as appropriate from there. Happy to answer any questions.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Chair, Special Counsel, can you explain how the city receives the bond? What's the competition for the bonds? And at that point, the signature process?
Sure. So again, what we're doing tonight is authorizing the issuance of the bonds and entering into a purchase agreement with an underwriter that the district has selected. So there's an investment bank that says we can market these bonds to investors. Depending on the day, we'll find out what the interest rates and final pricing and terms of the bonds are. Again, this is the authorization to move forward it is not a mandate. It is not saying sell the bonds at any price. So there is always the option for district staff to exercise judgment and say, today was a bad day in the market. There's obviously a lot of geopolitical events happening right now where maybe it doesn't make sense that day. So staff can always exercise discretion that you're delegating to choose a better day to sell the bonds in the market. At that point, the underwriting bank, investment bank, working with its investors will, achieve the most advantageous being lowest interest cost, right? Because eventually, homeowners that are repaying this, our obligation to those homeowners is to monitor the transaction to ensure that it's the lowest cost of financing that they have to pay over time. The district has engaged Piper Sandler, and Erica from Piper Sandler is here tonight and can answer any more market-specific questions as I deviate a little bit from my lane. Again, trying to obtain the most advantageous pricing, which means lowest interest cost that is eventually paid by the homeowners. We get all that final pricing data. It goes into a variety of documents where everybody says they're going to do what they promised to do, during this process that we've been moving along, and then we sign all those documents and close. At that point, investor money is transferred to the district, and then the district begins repayment over time, but also takes a portion of the bond proceeds, and when D.R. Horton requests it, executes all the final documentation to the city and the district. Bond proceeds are dispersed to D.R. Horton to purchase the streets project from them.
Can I do a few follow-up questions? Sorry about that. Do you have an idea of how much money we're talking about and the range of the interest rate? Do you have any idea what that would be?
So I'll defer to Erica if you'd like to come for the interest rate. With respect to an assessment transaction, D.R. Horton requested that we did a $5,000 per lot assessment. So we know what our amount generally will be because we take 279 and multiply it times 5,000. So that's where we know what the amount that we can possibly generate from this bond issuance is. With respect to the current interest rate market, I'll defer to the district's financial advisor.
So we were talking to you last May, and we had the first assessment deal. And since then, interest rates have increased. I think we all can see that in our mortgages and just hearing on the news. But we work closely with the underwriter, Hilltop Securities, and we're always monitoring market conditions. And so we are working with Hilltop to look at dates, and right now we're targeting that week of Halloween. So rates are a little higher right now. Looking at the final numbers from the last bond issue, which is the same length, it went out to 2047, 25 years. And that rate, the true interest cost, was 6.16%. And so looking at rates now, we're estimating between 6.25 to 6.75 is where I would estimate. So a little higher than we were in May, but there's a lot of investors who are very familiar with this type of financing and these types of bonds. And we have a fiduciary duty to the city and the district. So we will be sharing information and making sure that prudent decisions and the day of pricing, that everything looks as good as possible. And then move forward with a closing in before Thanksgiving is our target.
Answer all your questions?
Yes, thank you.
Anyone else got questions?
No.
Nope. Okay. We'll go back to the first one. This is a public hearing. I'll now open the public hearing. Would anyone like to speak on these items? And don't you all get up at one time. Obviously, I will close the public hearing. And do I have any more discussion from the board regarding all those wonderful comments that made from the public? Okay, do I have a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I move that resolution number 2023-009, SVCFD No.1, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Superstition Vistas Community Facilities District No.1, approving the assessment and the proceedings heretofore has and taken for the Superstition Vistas Community Facilities District Number 1 assessment area, area number 2, determining the work has been completed in accordance with the plans and specifications, and ordering the collection of the amount assessed be approved.
Second.
Moved in second, roll call?
Vice Chairman Schroeder,
Yes.
Board Member Nesser,
Yes.
Board Member Heck,
Yes.
Board Member Cross,
Yes.
Board Member Johnson,
Yes.
Board Member Soler,
Yes.
Chairman Wilson.
Yes?
Motion passes.
All right. Do I have any more discussion on the resolution number 2023-010, which is the district assessment area from the board? No more? Okay, do I have a motion for this one, for number 4?
Chair,
Yes.
I move that resolution number 2023-010, SVCFD number 1, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Superstition Vistas Community Facilities District Number 1, authorizing the issuance of its assessment area number 2, special assessment bonds, Series 2023, in the aggregate original principal amount of not to exceed $1,395,000, approving the form and authorizing the execution and delivery of a bond registrar, transfer agent, and paying agent contract, a purchase contract relating to the bonds, a continuing disclosure undertaking, and certain other documents securing the payment of or relating to the bonds, ratifying and approving a preliminary official statement relating to the bonds, approving a final official statement relating to the bonds, awarding the bonds to the purchaser thereof, appointing a registrar, transfer agent, and paying agent for the bonds, and authorizing the taking of other other actions securing the payment of and relating to the bonds be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, roll call?
Vice Chairman Schroeder,
Yes.
Board Member Heck,
Yes.
Board Member Cross,
Yes.
Board Member Nesser,
Yes.
Board Member Soler,
Yes.
Board Member Johnson,
Yes.
Chairman Wilson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Don't have a district manager's report.
No report, Your Honor.
Don't have any director's report and treasurer's report. So I will adjourn. Thank you.